Welcome back to another video with me, and I have bought, I believe, the cheapest running Mazda 3 MPS in the UK, and I'm going to give you guys a walk around. So this MPS was bought with a running fault, a misfire, which will present itself as soon as you get on load. There's a 2007 with 68,000 original miles. It has a 3-inch turbo back exhaust. It's lowered on some springs. It has a intake kit and also a front end intercooler. And visibly, it looks to be in very good shape. Now, the only problem with the car was the misfire that I knew of. So I went and viewed the car, had a look around, and I said to the guy, look, I'll take it. I'll take my chances. So I'm not going to tell you guys how much I paid for it just yet. But I did get it for a reasonable price, considering the fact that it is in pretty good condition. So let's take a look inside. So it is the Aero model. So it comes with the half leathers, cruise control, and a few other extras. Actually, I have no idea about because I don't know anything about these cars. I have, however, wanted one of these since I wanted to actually start driving. So when I started to do my lessons, I wanted to get one of these originally because obviously it's Japanese, has a turbo. At the time, these were fairly reasonable, around £3,000. So I thought it was a good beginner's car, but obviously insurance didn't let me get something as quick as this. We're going to check out what had a misfire. I'm going to tell you that this was most likely the easiest fix I've ever had to do on a car. I've already fixed the misfire because I drove it here, but I'm going to show you what I had to do to fix the misfire. So let's go along and dive into this engine bay, shall we? See the front mount kit, see the intake, and we have this. This sounds really gay. So I might have to include a sound clip of how gay that sounds. We're gonna have to delete that in this video. We don't. You guys know I don't rock with no blow-off valve, so that's gonna have to be the first model in this car. That's gonna have to go. We don't need the blow-off valve. We're gonna make a blanking plate for that. But the reason it misfired, which surprised me, is before I tell you, I'm going to walk you through the process of what I did for diagnostics. So first things first, pull the cord packs out, pull the spark plugs out. They were pretty fouled, so the car ran really rich to the point where it would literally bog when you try and get on load. It would just misfire and bog. It wouldn't want to get onto boost. So I was like, that's a little strange. So I figured maybe it's just like a boost leak, something like that. But turns out it's even simpler than that. On these MPSs, if you install a K&N filter, as you can see, it's a K&N, and these are normally oiled, aren't they? So the problem with oil K&N filters is that they're foul MAF sensors. So what I did was I took out the MAF sensor, I cleaned it with some brake cleaner, just the hot wire and the MAF, just spray that down with some brake cleaner, refitted it, and the car seems to run like a dream. I mean, this car really, it rips. This car's fast. I can't even lie. On the way here, it was spinning third, like rolling third, no problem whatsoever with the traction control off. That was crazy. So that's a super easy fix, just cleaning that MAF sensor. But today I thought we'd go through deleting that really gay blow-off valve. We don't need that where we're going. So let's do a little sound comparison of the diverter valve or blow-off valve that's fitted right now, and then we're going to make ourselves a blanking plate to get rid of that blow-off valve, and do another sound comparison on how much better it is without a blow-off valve. You don't, come on, man, you guys, you don't want to run a blow-off valve, man. It sounds like garbage, man. You don't need that. So let's listen to this sound, this horrible sound that you probably don't even want to hear because it sounds terrible. But I'm gonna let you hear it anyway and judge for yourselves. If you like it, you let me know what you think, and we go from there. In order to delete our gay off valve, we're gonna have to disconnect this line, disconnect the recirc line, which we're gonna have to plug with something because that goes to the intake, and then we're gonna have to take out these two 10 mils holding it onto there, and we're gonna have to make a plate with this sort of shape and two holes that we can bolt onto there that will keep this closed and leave us to not have a boost leak. It might also be worth going all over these clamps because whoever did this front mount kit used shit clamps and shit couplers, so I'm sure there's a bunch of boost leaks. We're gonna have to go through that, have a look at that and see what we can find. So let's get this valve off. I'm gonna check back in with you guys once I got this valve off, and I'm gonna show you guys how to make a new one. Obviously you're gonna need a grinder, you're gonna need a drill and some steel, but other than that it's pretty straightforward. So let me check back in with you guys once I got that gay off valve off. I don't need that gay shit, man. Ugh. The blanking plate cut out. I have already punched the holes that we need to drill. If the camera would like to focus, one there and one down there. And once we drill those out, we're pretty much ready to bolt that on. We're going to make out another gasket out of paper. They already had this on there along with a lot of silicone, which I'm going to try to not use if I can get the flange straight enough. And yeah, drill those out, make a gasket and refit. Okay, so we got our blanking plate made, we got our gasket made, resurfaced the flange for the diverter valve, or wherever we're going to put the blanking plate, whatever it's called, the flange. I've resurfaced that with a poly strip disc, so I've just gone over it to take off any of the high spots and any of the leftover silicone, so it doesn't damage any of the aluminium. Then got a paper gasket, nice and thick. Got a steel blanking plate and some nice thick washers to distribute the load evenly once we clamp that down, because beforehand it just had some really flimsy washers because they're only 10 mil bolts. So we're going to actually put some big washers on there, get the load distributed nicely so it doesn't bend again. And yeah, let's fit that up, see how it fits. We've got our intercooler pipe and blanking plate fitted. Looks pretty good right there. Next, we're going to blank this off. We'll probably just use a bolt for that. So we're going to cut that shorter, plug it with a bolt and a clamp. And then this one, I'm actually going to machine a blanking plug out of some steel. So let me take you over to the lathe and you're going to see me machine that. So I got an offcut here, just some steel pipe. And we're going to machine that to the same diameter as this on our diverter valve. So as you can see, it's just a little bigger, so I'm just going to go over it one pass on the machine and that'll be as good as it needs to be to blank it off. This is not going to see any pressure, so it doesn't really matter if we put like a barb on it or anything like that. So it doesn't see any pressure. It's in the intake pipe, so it just needs to be clamped down and be somewhat airtight so it doesn't suck in any dirt. So let me machine that up right now, and then we're going to blank that off, and then our diverter valve delete is going to be ready. There we go. Cut that up in the lathe, and that'll be perfect. Look at that. Blank that off with a 10mm bolt and put the clamp back on. Our machined blanking plug is on there and clamped down, and our intercooler pipe is on. So next step, most likely gonna remove this coupler and fit our boost leak tester to this pipe, pressurize all the piping and have a look if we've got any leaks. And if no leaks, we're good to go. All right, boost leak test number 2. Looks like we're good. Looks pretty good. Look at that. Holding pressure. Success. So we are boost leak free. Now it's time to bolt this all back up, and then we got a running car again. Happy days. Okay, back up and running. All the hoses tight. Diverter valve deleted. Vacuum line blanked. Recirc line to the intake is blanked as well. And everything seems to be pretty happy. So I'm just letting the car warm up, and then we can do another sound check. Make sure we get that sweet dose. We don't need no gay like, bro, my car's not ill. I don't need a sneeze. I need a that's what I need. So that's our blanking plate. Also, I found a boost leak from this clamp here, so I upgraded it to a better clamp that I had laying around. Get some better sealing capabilities, you know what I mean? So once the car warms up, we'll do a sound check, and you're gonna see that in a sec. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! That's much better. That's exactly what we need. So I feel much better about the car now. Sounds great. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of traffic, so we're gonna do a mini pull. And we already caught up to him. Oh yeah. That was a successful mod. So if you enjoyed this episode, give me a thumbs up. If you really enjoyed the episode and you ain't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna put one on my face, somewhere on my face. Make sure you click that. If you've got any criticism, any hate, anything you want to tell me, leave a comment below. I'm always open to criticism. Hopefully I can improve whatever you tell me. And yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next episode. Peace. Oh, that sounds so much better, man.